Okay, so we've got a lot of things to do, and I think, as far as I'm concerned, we have a lot of time, but mostly just a lot of things to do. So let's take a look at our tasks. Anything time related. So it's Wednesday. Oh, ask him about the pissing contest. Now's a good time.
Yes?
Tell me about the case again. What do you want to know? Now that we've inspected the scene, I want to know more about this pissing competition you mentioned. What's there to say? It's just stupidity. Kind of stupidity. The cop kind. Our precincts can't decide if Martinez is part of Jamrock or the Industrial Harbor, yours or mine. As if we somehow own parts of the city. Typical street gang mentality. So we've let the Union make a mockery of the law enforcement here. And now it's come to its natural conclusion. Ah, so this is the struggle over who runs Martinez. Well, sort of. It's less a matter of who gets to police Martinez than who has to. It's an orphan district, in other words. I think the dispatch desk told both our stations about the hanging. There was quite the brouhaha at the 57th, I can tell you that. Time to settle it, they said. Cop off. But he leans in. I assure you, I'm not their finest or toughest. With 102 cases solved. What I am is least interested in a pissing competition. So he volunteered to represent the 57th, but not out of competitiveness. On the contrary. Somewhere in your mind hangs a dark green blackboard. There are two columns. One says cases solved, and the other says confirmed kills. Close your eyes. The rows are endless. Look for Precinct 41. Jean Vicmar. Judith Minot. A special consultant. What was his name? Then the rose degrade into green nothingness. Your brothers have left you. Wonder what that says about me, that I was sent by my station. He raises an eyebrow, thinking it best to let you make the next move. It's all part of the master plan, you see. I'm a highly experimental cop, but if I am right, this is outre, even by my standards. Really? His eyebrow gets raised one more notch. I arrive at this scene 3 days early, drink myself into oblivion, fully re-immerse myself in this reality, and then work the case from an angle so crescent fresh, it produces never-before-seen results. Not only for criminology, but for the human mind. It can't be that. Part of him sort of wants to believe what you just said. I'm notoriously difficult to work with wonderkind. I feel like wonderkind. I am notoriously difficult to work with wonderkind, with extremely unorthodox methods. Wouldn't that be something? And whose could say it's not true? If you really don't remember anything, how could you know? The thought makes him uneasy. We should move. For some reason I thought you had 104 solved cases. Well, technically, the lieutenant says, somewhat sheepishly. The official record keeper has been known to double-count murder-suicides. A common accounting gimmick used to inflate precinct stats. So you're still a good cop, right? I'm good enough for this case. I'm not here to compete. I came because I had to. My fellow officers, the sergeants in particular, would have made the scene into a circus. So you volunteered to spoil it. Yes, I'm an unrepentant spoil sport. The lieutenant appears pleased with this. Special about Martinez. Martinez? Nothing. It's just a puddle at the end of some drain pipe. No one cares about this place. They care about sports. Most of our colleagues don't even know how to get here. North of the interchange doesn't exist. Okay, enough of the competition then. Tell me something else. Hey, we're done. So why did the 41st send me? Because you're the best qualified? No, that doesn't seem right. Oh, that makes sense. I'm exceedingly qualified. If you're so qualified, why can't you remember why you were sent? Anyway, don't keep the lieutenant waiting. Okay, I need logic. What is my logic? My logic is weak! Let us muscle up some logic here. Look at you. It's because you're a failure. They sent you to Slight Precinct 57. But no, that can't be right. Just think about it for a second. You're a raging alcoholic who showed up 3 days late wearing piss-stained disco garb. You weren't sent here to win. Kim, what if my precinct sent me on this case because I'm an F-up? Like, as a joke. I've considered it. His voice is somber. So it's true. It would be immensely ugly of them, not to mention unprofessional, but I also think it's somewhat unlikely. Why is that? I checked the records. This jurisdiction dispute, who polices Martinez, reaches back into the 30s. It's as old as my station. All this time we can decide... Oh, all this time we can't decide who gets Martinez? I think, yes, both stations would prefer to win. Ah, so you are the finest. I am the finest of nothing. Do you really see me as a safe bet? Safe? No, but you're odd. You made it this far. Something has brought you through. We've only just started working together, so I don't know what it is yet, but it's there. So no, I don't think they sent you as a joke, and even if they did, they're in for a surprise. He's right, there are no airtight theories, just paranoia. You've given it some thought, now let it go. Seem to be following me, 4 days in. Excuse me? Nothing, just an observation. You have a... He's looking for the right words. A distinctive way of walking. If I were to walk in front of you, we would surely collide. What do you mean, distinctive? I hope you don't take this as the wrong way. Just a collegial observation. In the 57th, we call it the Jamrock Shuffle. Officers from Jamrock's 41st Precinct tend to move a bit erratically. How's that? They say it's a scene-clearing technique developed by one of your lieutenants for gathering evidence. It's erratic, yet thorough, prioritizes containers. Yes, but containers contain things. Shiny things. They're interesting. Okay, then. He simply nods. Passing along frivolous interdepartmental stereotypes is not usually his oeuvre. He regrets bringing it up. We're done. We're done. Okay, and during this process, I've actually remembered why I was even here. It took me a little bit to get going. We got a lot to do. We might as well do a bunch of stuff while we're here. I'd like to go back and finish some of our other side stuff, but it might not be a terrible idea for me to actually, Okay, I can just get through here. Perfect. It might not be a bad idea for me to try and find Ruby while we're here. Oh, there's a awake person there. Look around. The reeds by the abandoned campsite sway and tremble while the snow falls all around. The later it gets, the colder. Remnants of the camp can still be seen in the sand. The fire that's gone out, you feel strange somehow. Reach for the trap. The trap feels light and silent as you pick it up. Something is different here. Look closer. No locusts! No phasmid either, but still. Look closer still. The lieutenant studies the trap with you. Well, the bait worked on something. This doesn't mean it was a reed monster, though, unless you see one in there. I just see an empty trap. The netting is a little untidy, messier than the others. Like someone or something picked up the trap and shook it before dropping it back to the ground. Actually, I do get the feeling that someone or something may have messed with the trap. He purses his lips. Perhaps our cryptozoologists have competition in the form of an actual entomologist, or someone else is sabotaging them. I can present more theories, but then I would be taking this on as a case, which I'm not. It probably wasn't the phasmid, but still, Morel needs to know. We did sort of promise to tell them, didn't we? He seems to regret that fact. A cold gust of air dries your sweaty face as you look to the dark shadow of the fetid building in the distance, drawing you to it. What a strange sensation. Once this is done, should you try to ask again? Alright, aces high. For the rest of the world, Aces High is just a cool Revachol thing, politically neutral. In Revachol, it still holds revolutionary connotations. Also, if you looked at Lieutenant Kitsuragi's clothes, he wears a bomber jacket, just like the one worn by aerostatic brigades. And those cargo pants could store tools for hotfixing your aerostatic. Maybe you should ask him about this. Okay, so I got space for one more. I don't know which to get. I will admit I looked up a list of these, so I might actually want to go back and double check that list and see if any of these are particularly useful. Because actual archery is insane. And getting another thing like that would be lovely. Okay. I found it. I actually know. The hilarious thing is, here's the guy. This is the guy I need to talk to get the specific perk I want. And it's a perk that I want immediately. He's got a kid with him. Interesting.
And Mikhail, notice the windows. Especially with how there are no windows on the south side. This was to deal with.
The blonde man stands next to his son, pointing to the weather-worn ruins. He sees you approaching and smiles.
You, officers, come to investigate the historic subtext of West Martinez. I'm Trant Heidelstein. You must be Kim Kitsuragi, right? I was just telling my son about this building. Not a lot of people realize the historic significance here. Very rich in hypertext.
Nice to meet you.
Let's see. Wait, what was that about the windows before?
Oh, yes. So, Mikhail, they had to deal with monitor glare, especially in the summer. They still had vector monitors back then. That was 49 years ago, so they didn't have windows on the south wall.
Hold on. Hypertext?
Yes, hypertext. Jan Karp and the collection of cultural hyperlinks.
You and Kim know each other.
No, I can't say that we've met before, but I've heard of Kim, of course. Mikhail, say hi to the officers.
He rests his hand on the boy's shoulders. The child stays hidden behind the hem of his father's coat, clutching to his worm-themed coloring book.
Mikhail's a little tired today. We spent all night trying to run Orbis on his radio computer. Have you heard of it? It's a programming language used in Grad. Quite tricky, but he wanted to play this Grad-made adventure program. We've been getting really into worms lately.
The man speaks in the artificial cadence of a professor, or someone who's been on way too many radio shows.
But I assume you're not here for giant worms, when there are so many real things to see. Just as I was telling Mikhail before, this is where the Coalition landed in '08. We could be standing on what is the most interesting landmark in Revachol West.
He points to the building again. This man is your half-brother, you feel it, but why? Wow, get a load of this guy. He really enjoys his trivia. The Orbis programming language was named after its inventor, Victor Orbis, a cybernetician from Grad. They run Vox in the Occidental countries. Looking for a suspect. Have you seen anyone suspicious around? No, I'm afraid I can't help you with this one, officer. It's just a regular day off for me and Mikhail here. He pats his son's head. You haven't seen anyone around? No, I'm sorry. As I said, this is just a day off. We just arrived yesterday. Or anyway. There's something friendly and familiar in how he says that. A day off. He's telling the truth. He hasn't seen anyone. What's so fascinating about an empty old building? Aha! But it's not just any empty old building. He raises his hands to his eyes to shield himself from the freezing snow. All four of you turn to admire the mural before you. What not a lot of people know is, this used to be the R&D department of Feld Electrical, and Feld, which now sells ink cartridges mostly, was once a top dog in the turn-of-the-century cybernetics boom. Look at the building looming over you. It looks old and weathered, with seagulls picking apart its stone and metal carcass. Bushy undergrowth has taken hold of the collapsed rooftop. Some kind of bird has set up a nest on a broken windowsill. I don't think I've ever heard of this Feld Electrical. That's not surprising. Only a vestigial ink cartridge and ferrotape manufacturer remains. He adjusts his suit jacket. They started out as a midway electronics outfit in Königstein two centuries ago. After an aggressive move to Revachol, Feld became a global player in the emerging personal electronics market of the pre-revolutionary era. Still, Tricentennial was beating them in business machines. He gestures towards the building. But Feld had an ace up their sleeve, or should I say they were developing an ace up their sleeve. He grins. I'm mixing my metaphors here. What was that ace? It was here in Martinez, possibly in this very building, that they developed prototypes for a, he pauses for effect, tape computer. Tape computer? Uh-huh. An elegant folding mechanism of rollers and ferrotype ribbons. Portable enough to be a take-it-home solution, revolutionizing business machines, possibly even bringing them to the average consumer. Which is a feat of engineering even today's giants, Ream, ICN, ZAM haven't achieved yet. He grins, admiring the sentence he just produced. He assumes something like a combat stance, facing the wind. What happened? Indeed, what? The revolution? The boy wipes his nose on his sleeve. He nods. Unfortunately, their moonshot project never made it to the market. Feld's move to Revachol backfired. The revolutionary government liquefied their assets and expropriated those very advanced prototypes. Possibly from this very building, or one of the adjacent ruins. He pauses, pointing to the other buildings, then continues. All of this was built by Feld. Even the boardwalk. Wild Pines built Martinez proper as a resort for their middle management. Feld built this side of town for R&D. You're saying that Feld Electrical built this boardwalk? Yes, they even built a pleasure wheel, but that got destroyed in the war. A pleasure wheel? The lieutenant looks wistfully at the horizon, as if picturing the gondolas rising into the sky. Perhaps reminded of a childhood memory. It's clear he'd prefer if there's a big wheel lighting up the coast. Yes, to learn their star engineers. This part of Martinez was nothing but reeds before Feld arrived. They had to make the prospect of living here attractive. It was supposed to be a global center for innovation in cybernetics, but history had other plans. What happened to the engineers, the company people? Oh, I'm afraid it didn't end well for the boys. He smiles again, as if he's somehow personally responsible for this bleak turn of events. But this story is a bit too dark for little Mikhail here. Now, if you were to ask about tape computers... Wait, is he saying that we should just bypass the excesses of the revolution? Tape computers, right. Tape computers, he nods, wind tussling his suit jacket. What did the revolutionaries do with those advanced tape computers? They used them for military communications, he says. The son looks up, idly chewing on the corner of his worm-themed coloring book. But also to write and send out press releases, the most notorious example being the Decret de Mar. What was that? What's the March Decree? I mean the radio transmission sent out to news agencies and world governments by the newly created Commune of Revachol on the 7th of March in the year 02. A short-lived legislative foundation for a short-lived utopia. It's a beautiful piece of text, actually. A singer-songwriter I know, Charette, called it a love poem to Revachol on her political concept album, Bons Bayer des Insolites. You should read it. Every local library in Revachol stocks a copy of the decree. I tried to get Mikhail to memorize it. He looks at his son, who starts giggling, his face hidden behind the book. Or, well, tried to. Someone was a bit too interested in worms to be paying any attention. The kid takes a peek at the green and silver worm on the cover of the book, already forgetting about this part of the discussion. How did those tape computers work? Did they work like radio computers? Actually, no one knows. No one even knows what a computer made entirely of tape would look like, but word has it they were very elegant, exquisite, alien-looking turn-of-the-century hardware. He raises his finger, remembering something. Buckle up. 10 years ago, I did a little freelancing, I guess you could say. I was a special consultant for the exhibition at the Wompty-Dompty Dom Center in Vaderfort. Oranje? Oranje? It's... The problem is I keep wanting to pronounce it with like a Spanish pronunciation, and that's wrong. Anyway, Oranje. It raised the same questions, and we had lengthy discussions with Paul Ackerman, who was the head curator at the time. This was before the twins Keith and Guy Juice joined the team. Trying to... Wait, did he just say Wompty-Dompty Dom Center? He did! He said Wompty-Dompty Dom Center, like it's the most natural thing in the world. What the hell is a Wompty-Dompty Dom Center, and who the hell are Keith and Guy Juiced? Okay, the Wompty-Dompty Dom Center. Paul Ackerman, Keith, and Guy Juice? What are you talking about? The Wompty-Dompty Dom Center for Contemporary Arts. There it is again, those words. The exhibition itself drew on Lagerman's notion of memory. And so there are some parallels. That's why the head curator, Paul Ackerman, chose to... Making this up. Kim, is he making this up? In fact, I'm not. The Wompty-Dompty Dom Center, he says casually, is a place you can visit if you ever in Vaderfort, and are ever in the market for an exhibition slash space slash contemporary art research center. He clears his throat. But perhaps I should return to the tape computers. As I was saying, the device itself was very elegant, fragile even. One could write directly on the tape using a special chemical solution. The machine would then analyze the handwriting, perform operations, and project output onto a white screen. It was a beautiful, delicate thing. Made of black film and folding tape structures. Cool. Very cool, he agrees. Though I understand the socio-economic causes of the revolution, it pains me to imagine the revolutionaries setting fire to this precious device. But so they did. The Feld playback experiment vanished into the fires of '07. Wait, the Feld playback experiment? Yes, the official name of the prototype. Some sources report it as the Feld playback experience, but those are incorrect. Why'd the revolutionaries destroy it? Who knows? Maybe it was an accident, or maybe they didn't want the technology to end up in the wrong hands. Either way, they're all gone now. All three versions of the prototype. Nothing but debris and ashes remain inside that building. He takes a step back. The boardwalk creaks mournfully at the wind. Something else. Okay. Great, thanks for all the interesting information. No, thanks to you for having me and little Mikhail here to pick your brain. A very interesting conversation indeed. Pick your brain, if anything, that was rather one-sided. He did the talking. Whatever. Okay, and we're immediately going to go in here and Wompty-Dompty Dom Center. So, this is going to come with a bit of a stat minus, but it is so worth it. I believe. Unless it's not working. Anyway, it's Wednesday evening, and something heinously exciting is underway. People have gathered beneath the billowing roof of an oddly shaped trophy building, sipping wine and exchanging opinions. 20-year-old Wonder Twins Guy and Keith Chust are the stars of the show, with their bomber jackets and white sneakers, head curators of this art exhibition. It's the Wompty-Dompty, the dommiest event of the year. And all the cool kids have RSVP'd. Where are you, if you're not there? Okay. So now that we're done with that, no, this is not the building I can get into. The building I can get... Oh, you mean to tell me I could have actually come around this way? Is it this building I need to get into? One of these is a way in. No, there's stairs there. There's something. Could Ruby be in there? In there, she could, or... He points behind you. She could be in the identical ruin over there. Or that boat shack. In the church tower, maybe? If I single out this one building. River's impossible. Listen to the wind. Impossible. Impossible failure. Suddenly all is quiet. There's no cold hand brushing against your forehead. No rustle in the reeds. The wind has died down, or gone behind a corner. You only hear distant waves washing against the washing the coast. The ruins in front of you is silent as a tomb. What was I even attempting to do here? Trying to talk to the wind, the city? Whatever you thought would happen did not, and now you're just standing there, in the pale of the morning, with your hands fallen to your side. Is trying to talk to the city something you've done before? Is it in your secret repertoire? A trick for when you're out of ideas? A prayer of sorts to Revachol? She could be anywhere. How do we find her? Do we? I was really hoping she'd be in the village, the lieutenant sighs and gets a hold of himself. Okay. She's probably north of the village, and this place is a peninsula. He looks north. I already scanned most of the outdoor areas on our wild cryptid hunt, so we have at least an understanding of the geography at least. Then there's the church. He looks at the bell tower. If I were a murder suspect, I would not hide the most prominent building here, but who knows? Maybe she's reckless. Or spiritual. She could be seeking refuge. Okay, so we're done asking about Ruby in the village. Maybe? Anyway, we do it the old-fashioned way, sector by sector. Go over the whole peninsula. Ask the locals. Enter places where we can enter first. Like we did in the village. If that fails, if we don't find her, then, if we're desperate, we can look where we can't enter. Bunkers, storm drainage. This place. I'm sure it won't come to that. He looks behind him, at the dark red box crumbling across the chasm. Walk the coast, the old boardwalk, and the reeds. You can always come back here and talk to the wind again. Look where it already got you. I wonder if she ate the locusts. I'm gonna take the long way around to this building. We're just gonna keep looking for stuff. Did I try looking at this? Okay, why are there so many bullet holes? A row of ghostly shades stand facing the wall. There are many of them, a dozen at least, their heads lowered and eyes blindfolded. It's quiet, no sound, no movement. 10 meters away, other shades are lined up in an orderly manner, automatic rifles primed. A gust of wind blows by, the coats of the firing squad flap slowly in the breeze. A single person stands on the side. Snowflakes fall on the wooden planks and the surrounding sand dunes, covering the land with the white of innocence. A long time has passed since the moment of this fusillading. Rain and brine have washed all the blood away. Not a trace remains. What is this? The abundance of bullet holes leads to two options. Either an inordinate amount of executions were performed here, or they did not use a conscience round, where only one soldier has a loaded rifle. Looks like this is a mass execution with everyone fully armed. Look at the people against the wall. A host of men in probably in everyday clothes, ragged from the conflict and covered in dust. They're not sitting, a common practice for executions in some nations, as demonstrated by the height level of the bullet holes. They stand facing the wall. It's impossible to discern any details about their personality or background. Ordinary people, familiar, each and every one of them. Who were they? You, your friends, your family, everyone you had ever known. This was you. Look at the line of soldiers. 7 men in combat uniforms and dark coats, holding automatic rifles aimed at the people. Soldiers from some side, but from which one? Men of duty, dark duty. Who were they? Soldiers, people in a bad spot. They probably did not choose. Ordered to commit acts they wanted no part of. Look at the person standing on the side. The commandant, the one who gives the order. Machine gun fire crackling through the air. The lights of the muzzle flashes dancing on his face. Him. Who is who in this execution? The first lieutenant doesn't say a word. He stares at the wall. I don't know, he says finally. I don't know who died here, lined up beside that horrible wall. It could have been any of the parties involved in the revolution. Perhaps the ones executed here were the loyalist conservatives, killed by the communists at the start of the Civil War. Or it could have been the communists put to death during the last stretch of the conflict by coalition forces. Remember what Trant Hiddleston said about the Feld. What if it was the Feld personnel when their assets were being seized by the revolutionaries? Lieutenant nods. Another likely scenario. Or maybe... You mentioned coalition forces. Could it have been them against the wall? Yeah. It's very unlikely the coalition forces were the one who died here. They were always the last ones against the wall. To be honest, if a coalition member was anyone in this situation, it was the commandant, the superior giving the orders. Goodbye. A cold sea wind blows away the figures. Can I get down here? Nope, I gotta take the long way around. Whatever. Worse things have happened. It's just very slow. It's not the end of the world. I was really hoping one of the thought cabinets would actually increase movement speed in this game, because that would be kind of nice. Okay, so I'm going to want to go turn in some of those side quests that we've kind of finished, but let's leave that for a little bit. Let's go for the church. Actually, no. Let's go for the young woman over here. Yeah, because she's still out.
Seriously, what's eating you, man?
There's a hint of pity in her eyes. Her hair is dyed blonde with dark roots showing, and she wears thick black eyeliner. Most men wouldn't call her pretty. There's a manliness to her, a coarseness. What are you doing out here in the cold? Recording, I guess. What is it you're recording exactly? I think I'm recording cracks in the ice, but there's no way to tell. Not without headphones. I think I just recorded your footsteps, too. Not sure how that will sound. She scratches her forehead. But what happened to the headphones? My boyfriend sold them. What for? I don't know, man. Things. Just stuff you need for life. A lie. They're probably pawned off for something suspicious. And what are these recordings for? The cracks, the footsteps. The musicians in the Elysium use them for making music. They loop the stuff, cutting the tapes together. They make music out of cracks in the ice and keys jangling. Crazy sounds like that. It's hard to explain. Just not. Anyway, I thought I'd make some too. It's supposed to be like a music place anyway. She rubs her shoulders and looks around. I don't really know what I'm doing. They use the synthesizers too. I don't have a synthesizer. She looks at the recording device, the thing she thought would fill her hours with joy and escape. It's turning out to be an empty fantasy. She feels childish, very useless all of a sudden. Take this, you're cold. The lieutenant begins to take off his jacket. No, man, F that. I'm cool. I'm sorry I said that. I'm sorry about the... It's okay, the lieutenant backs up. He throws you a glance. Give her your hat. Here, you need this more than I do. We lost Dick Mullen's hat. Thanks, she puts it on. It's a bit large for her. You said it's supposed to be a music place. What is? That, she nods towards the church. The boys think it could be a place. Like, the Elysium or something. Stupid. It's really, she pauses, not going to be a Elysium, that's for sure. And who are these boys? The boys? Yeah, Andre and the guys. They're inside, in the tent. And why is that? Why are you freezing out here while the boys are inside? They got too much stuff crammed in there. No room. Stuff like what? Music stuff mostly, like this tape recorder, but bigger. There's piles of it. You mean like those headphones your boyfriend sold? Yep. She squints a little. They were pretty. I'm sorry we sold those. Why not just leave some of it outside so you don't have to freeze? This stuff is more expensive than I am. More expensive than any of us, really. Doesn't matter. I can take the cold. The questions. Let's see. Can we talk for a minute? I was wondering when you'd come around. What's up? I guess there's something that's been making my life hell. What is it? People just keep putting their selfish interests ahead of the greater good. Oh, really? Yeah, no one understands that sometimes you gotta make sacrifices for the sake of progress. It's all very distressing. So, the things that got you crying in front of strangers, this is a slow pace of social progress. Huh. No, that's probably not it, is it? No, it sounds like you've just got chick issues. Now that you mention it, I found these letters I'd thrown in the trash. They might have something to do with it. Okay, why'd you think that? They're written in a woman's hand, and oh boy, did reading them make me not feel good. There you have it, chick trouble. Not political after all. Who was she? I don't remember. Really? She appears to believe you. You seem pretty upset about this, Chica. You sure you don't remember anything about her? I remember her scent, and that's all. Wow, man. That's some pretty strange shit. She rubs her sides for warmth. Are you sure the letters were for you? Yeah, I'm sure. Why would I have reacted so strongly otherwise? How come you don't remember, though? Is it like some selective memory thing? But what do you mean by selective memory? Man, when I get hurt, I just want to forget that shit, you know? That kind of selective memory. I think it's more about me getting so unbelievably drunk I completely erased all memory of this world. Yeah, or it might be that. This one time I did so much booze that I forgot too. It's obvious she's done more than booze. Or it might just be psych bullshit. You know, Koenigsegg wank. What is this Koenigsegg wank? You know, the psych thing they've got going on there. Rich people like it. People in Konigstein are mostly rich. Thanks for the bullshit psych thing, then. You're welcome. She thinks for a second, stretching her jaw. Might be for the best to keep that shit forgotten, though. Just my opinion. If it itches, don't scratch. Yes, but it itches really, really bad. What is your name? Estelle. And your surname? Why? I'm from the police. It's for the paperwork. Oh. Okay, well, she hesitates. It's Berger. A very common name. You have little reason to doubt that's a real name, but she's not at all surprised by this cop show questioning, is she? What's the device you have there? This, she breathes on her freezing fingers. It's a portable recording device. It's for field recording. Low quality, but still. And the wires? Actually, just one wire. I picked on it till the braiding came loose. The wire leads to a contact microphone. It's a contact microphone. A contact mic records sounds from inside things, like this ice. Your Meggle brain would like you to know there's a boxer called Contact Mike. Yeah, any news of my wife's name? How about my mother? Nope. You're welcome. Let's see. How does that thing work? Mike, I don't exactly know. Somehow, it doesn't pick up vibrations from the air. The box said it only picks up structure-born sound. If you like technobabble. Where'd you get the mic from? Same place I got the recorder from. The Elysium. What is the Elysium? Oh man, you haven't been to the Elysium? She forgets herself for a moment. It's the coolest place in this whole drug-addled shithole. It's a music club and a synthesizer workshop on Boogie Street in Jamrock. Musicians live there. Like real musicians. I once saw Arno van Eyck. Thinking about it really cheers her up. It's a long way from here, though. Sounds interesting. Who's this Arno guy? Oh, yeah. She looks you over, assessing your age. Guess you wouldn't know Van Eyck. Or really be a Elysium-going kind of person. I get down. I don't know what that means. I grind. I don't know what that means either. Nor do I, but I have concrete evidence that I rock. In the form of a wrecked tape player and a completely trashed out hostel room. That's cool. She breathes on her fingers. Looks like she doesn't know what to say. Yeah, you're right. Time's deserted me. She looks at you oddly. Sucks, man. She squints her eyes for a second, trying to remember something. Then lets go of it. Was there something else about the contact mic, perhaps? Does that have anything to do with contact mic? She's confused. Yeah, I record stuff with it. No, I mean the boxer contact mic. Ah! No, this is a contact microphone. It's for recording. Inside solid objects. Contact mic just beats people up. You know, Contact Mike doesn't just beat people up. Contact Mike is a role model. An entire litany spews forth. On second thought, screw Contact Mike. He's not a champion, you are. Look at you here in front of a saggy tent, picking your nose to drug addict music. The world of sports is in awe of your faith and dedication. It's kind of the dick move to say, but I'm saying it anyway. Man, you are one weird cop. I'd say I'm just about normal. Now, about that Mike. Not Mike. Mike. You understand it all just sounds like Mike to me, right? I had some non-Mike questions for you. Have you seen... let's see. Tell me more about this music place you've been planning in the church. It's supposed to become like a club for anodic dance music. Like that new style of synthesizer stuff they play at the Elysium. Except that, yeah, she looks at the old wooden church up the poles. As mean wind comes bellowing in, the 6-story structure lets out a doleful shriek. What is anodic dance music? You know, anodic, cathodic music that's made with electronic instruments. Like what? Synthesizers and tape consoles, microcomputers too. Anything that uses electricity, but isn't guitars. Also, found sounds, stuff like that. You see a clear, beautiful, violent flash, or flashes of light. Light cutting through a smoke-filled darkness. That is what the future will look like, if it ever comes. This is an evolutionary step from the amplified instruments, which in turn are a step up from acoustic instruments. What comes after, you wonder? A black-tinted nothingness, or something finer? Do you want to turn the church into a club? I know, she nods towards the sloping mass of wood on the coast, then shivers. It's not my idea. Andre and the boys found the place. It was supposed to be deserted, but now they can't even take it. Hey. Her black eyes widen. You two are cops? No, we are the law. Okay, well, she hesitates. Maybe you could talk to Andre and the guys, because there are some strange things going on in that church. You're police, you should look into it, right? I'll talk to them. They're inside that thing there, she points to the tent. It would be cool if you did. Was there something else? Let's see. Enough about the church then. Had another question. Seem surprisingly comfortable with being questioned. Why is that? That's just questioning, right? You're questioning me. It's what cops do. Have you been questioned before? Once or twice, yeah. I'm sorry I haven't had the Revachol experience. They get east of the river. What's east of the river? Rich people. Rich people are east of the river. Strange. The existence of rich people does not stir any emotions in me. Bet they like it that way, she mutters quietly under her breath. You keep them rich. So what trouble you've gotten into with the police? The usual. I had a shitty run as a teenager. What's the usual? You know, drinking, getting into fights. The ugly stuff that happens when you move out of your parents' place at 13 in Faubourg. Interesting term. Time to glean some knowledge. Wait, what is in Faubourg? Is that a rhetorical question? No, I literally can't remember even the most basic terms sometimes. Lieutenant steps in. Faubourg, not in Faubourg, is a massive banlieue south of Jamrock Quarter. It's the largest ghetto in Revachol, possibly in the world. Why'd you have to move out when you were so young? My dad was a drunk. Plus, I guess I wanted to get to drink too. You know, get my party on. Drinking, partying, and disco music are bad for you. You should take me as a warning example. She nods, very cautiously. Have you seen a red-haired woman around? No. Just no? It's pretty desolate here. I only hear the dogs bark at night and see the shadows move down the coast. That's good. No neighbors to complain about the noise when you get the club going. Exactly. It's our chance to turn the grim desolation into an overwhelmingly fun fun dance party. No disco in there. Okay, so let's do empathy and try and go for this. Yep. The device is still warm from her touch and heavy as a brick from the batteries inside. The company logo, Omicron, adorns its yellow plastic cover. Inside, the tape is rolling. The girl looks at the device in your hands. Sorry you have to sit here on the ice. Feeling miserable. At your age, or at any age. In this weather, waiting for it to get dark. She looks at you in the eye. Her pupils wide, surrounded by a ridiculous amount of makeup. The people who built this world intended it to be better for you, but they failed. It's easier to live in their failure with this by your side. Tap the tape recorder. The wind howls. She remains silent. It's real. Tell her. It's not a childish fantasy. It can be a real weapon against what's coming for you now. What is? Nothing. If you got this, don't be scared. Or we could just go contact Mike. Yeah, let's just, I don't know. Yeah, no, let's go with her. Nothing. If you got this, don't be scared. Okay, her teeth rattle. She takes the device from you and places it in her lap. I'll stick to it. After a moment of silence, she speaks again. So, thanks, I guess, for the psych session. I guess that means we're even? She smiles a little. She means your little talk before. After your breakdown. It's alright, she means to say. You return the favor. That's it for now. Okay, bye. She turns her attention back to the recording device. We are going to get that club rolling for her. And now, Wompty-Dompty Dom Center. Yep. All encyclopedia passives give 10 EXP and 2 real, which I don't know if that's cents or just dollars. I'm also not sure if it works. We'll have to find out. If I become hella rich just by thinking about things, holy shit. Alright, anyway. You're at home. Stupid cop, not with the art crowd. You hate them. Everyone hates them. Even they hate themselves. It's nauseating. An industry built on sprezzatura and sparkling wine. And let's be honest, tax evasion schemes. The Wompty-Dompty Dom Center is the heart of this unholy symbiosis of aesthetics and tax optimization. And now that you've internalized it, you can have a piece too. Alright, let's go see if we can encyclopedia up some riches. I want to buy a street light. Oh, I should probably put a hat on. The tent is just a tarpaulin fabric covering a pile of stuff. The flap is open. Inside, 3 young men, all in forward-looking apparel, reminiscent of the sticker on the padlock, are listening to some new form of music. It's like nothing you've ever heard. One of them looks at you.
Come on! Get in and close the flap behind you. The warm stuff's getting out.
It's safe to assume this is their leader. Or at least thinks he is. Squeeze in.
Sorry, you barely have room for one.
You go ahead. I'm too old for this.
I'm actually not, he thinks. I just dislike delinquents.
I'm sure you will feel right at home. I'll keep watch.
He gestures for you to squeeze in. Okay. I have no idea if this music is going to be copyrighted, so we'll find out. This might sound kind of weird. Music's pretty good, though. I don't know. I might just start including some of this stuff and just not care. Canister is filled with what appears to be water. The label says distilled. Speaker, big kind they use for live music. A pile of nasal sprays, brand name, Nosafed Ultra. You know what? Screw it. I'm just going to turn the regular music back on, too. Normally I try and, you know, safeguard my income, but this series isn't doing well enough for that, so I'm just going to accept everything that happens. It's not going to get my series taken down. I'm just not going to make any money from it. It's weird. Anyway, let's talk to all of these guys. Egghead, young man with peroxide blonde hair, holds up a Harman Wowshit tape player, nodding along to the music. He looks at you with a knowing smile and says, as though you're supposed to be sharing some tremendous evangelical secret.
Hardcore!
Say nothing.
Hardcore!
Still say nothing.
Hardcore to the mega!
Alright!
Here comes the night!
Solve the egghead puzzle. Could there have been a right way to end... right way out of this garden of forking paths, you think?
This is hardcore.
Say nothing.
Hardcore!
What is it? I mean, really.
Yeah!
This young man adds a capital G before the H in his yahs and ahs. This produces a guttural got wilding in accent. It makes him sound more animal, more in it. Yep, I just gain money every time we encyclopedia. Easy mode. Or maybe it's not got wilding. Maybe it's Ornhays. Ornhays. Probably an homage to Ornya, where Arno van Eyck is from, judging by his name. Could you be listening to an Arno van Eyck creation right now? So is this the famous Van Eyck I'm hearing?
You know about him?
He moves his mouth, but sound doesn't come out. His eyes are the size of saucers. Looks like you've rendered him speechless. I'm a major Eyckhead.
Wow!
The skinny wraith looks at you with some disbelief.
So am I! So am I!
He begins to shake his head so everyone would understand.
Oh, is that why they call you Egghead? Because... Egghead to the mega! The K became the G! The boy became the man! The Advent? Back to the heavyweight jam!
Says the young man with the tape player, and the large Boyadero boots, lung-shaped trees sprout on his silver belt buckle.
Hardcore!
Is it?
It's hardcore!
You're just gonna keep saying it's hardcore, aren't you?
Skibba-dee, skibba-danger. I am the rearranger.
Your cop training did not prepare you for this. What to do?
We're close. True, hard, full, core. Hardcore.
Okay, say nothing
Hardcore
again.
to the mega.
Say nothing
Internally
again.
coherent.
I was wondering if you knew who killed the mercenary hanging behind the Whirling and Rags hostel.
Good morning, yeah. 1, 2, 3. Yeko kata, the place to be.
Why is Yeko Kata the place to be? What does that mean?
Yeko Kata's the hardcore place.
Yeko Kata is an abbreviation from the Grad term Zone of Ecological Catastrophe. I'm just making $2 every time we run into this. This is amazing. An agricultural mega-project in the extreme southeast of the Grad Isola. It involved cutting-edge approaches to irrigation and a completely new type of fertilizer. An intricate system of irrigation networks pockmarking the earth, intermittent seas of phosphorus mud, ripped tarpaulin fluttering in the wind. A pair of molten rubber boots also comes to mind. All in all, a truly hardcore place.
True, hardcore. Hardcoreism internally coherent.
Let's say nothing.
All core, all right, yeah.
Say nothing the entire way. He furrows his brow as his very large head traces the sublime, invisible movement of the music, the very real air of the stuffy tent.
Hardcore! Ah!
Let's add an agonized roar over the feeble-ish, obviously not too hardcore beat now. No, but seriously, I'm a little worried it isn't.
The question is, what is the question?
That would have been good if I just asked you a question, but I didn't. Now it's just idiotic.
There was a question. We're close. True, hardcore. Hardcoreism internally coherent. All core, all right, yeah.
Please tell me, what exactly are you doing?
Gotta get the people going.
Why?
I'm the party boy. It's my job.
What is a party boy?
Hardcore party 25/7 beyond the winter's orbit style.
There's a place far away in Katla, beyond a certain latitude known as Winter's Orbit, where there are 25 hours in a day. There's a tremendously cold place, abandoned to drunks and failed rock stars, full of eternite, depression, and half-finished ski flying hills. The Suru live there. At this point, he's just encyclopedia bait.
Hardcore. Hardcoreism internally coherent. All core. All right. Yeah. Gotta get the people going.
I see.
Yeah. Request. I want everybody as close to the stage as possible. We're close. True. Hardcore. Hardcoreism internally coherent. Good morning. Yeah. 1, 2, 3. Yeko Kata. The place to be.
I'm beginning to think this really doesn't have anything to do with the case.
It's the message, so listen and you will see. No illusion. The spirit is what you feel.
Okay, that's not it.
Hard, full, car. It's hardcore.
I don't know what to say to that.
Skipper D, skipper danger. I am the...
Okay, so...
We're close. True,
one is
hardcore.
Is
yeah.
It really? Yeah.
The Y to the E to the A 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 to the G to the H to the hyphen mark. Yeah!
You missed one A. You missed an A there. I yelled mine with 6 A's, so you have to yell it with 6 too.
I'm the hard rhymer, the track attacker, the mic enforcer, the sixth checker. I am the law.
Okay.
True, hardcore. Yeah. The Y to the... Yeah!
You missed an A there, but that's okay. I'm a pretty lenient cop.
It's nice to be important.
Okay. I don't know why I'm doing this, but we're solving the egghead mystery.
Yeah!
Okay,
You know
Van
about...
Eyck.
You know Van Eyck?
Let's see. Your friend Estelle mentioned him.
Good. The Advent?
Nope. So I think
True,
1 and 2 are
probably...
mega. Okay, alright.
Here comes the
Okay, 1, 2, and 3.
True, hardcore,
1, 2, 3.
internally
Those
coherent.
are all done.
All
Okay,
core,
say nothing.
all right, yeah. Gotta get the people going. I'm the party boy. It's my job.
I think I'm also a party boy.
2 on a track. Watch your back. Watch out for the heart attack.
Nope. Okay, I'm starting to lose track here a bit.
Hardcore. Hardcoreism internally coherent. All core. All right. Yeah. Hardcore. Ah.
Let's add an agonized roar. Okay, so hardcore. He stops dead in the tracks, tilting his head to the side. It is!
What is it? I mean, really?
He tilts his head to the other side like an owl. The question is, what is the question?
No, but seriously, I'm a bit worried it isn't.
He frowns, then starts bobbing his head back and forth once more. Don't be alarmed, everything's okay. He isn't actually worried. Everything is still super hardcore. What he probably means is, it could have been even more so. You said you were worried. What do you think's wrong with the music? There's nothing wrong with it. I'm still in love with the hardcore. He turns pensive all of a sudden. Sometimes I feel like anodic music is in its infancy, you know? For example, take this Arno van Eyck jam I've been pumping for the last month, and will continue pumping for the rest of 51. Isn't something holding it back from being hyper? He thinks for a moment, then his expression clears. It's like it's only ultra. I think it's super hardcore, but you're right. It's not hyper hardcore. If anything, it sounds a bit proto. It's like it's not fully formed yet. You might be a moribund alcoholic and a failed cop, but you're pretty certain a thing cannot be proto and hardcore. It's proto, not hardcore at all. Whoa, culture cop. I think you might be right, but how could it become hardcore then? I know it in my heart, but cannot think it in my head. If this is not hardcore, how could anything be? Sounds suspiciously like a question. I thought the question is, what is the question? Or... yeah, let's go with that. No, this is the answer. Try to think if anything can make it harder core? What? He looks at you with customary amazement. Guys, there's something happening in his head. Think even harder. Oh yeah, he's doing it. You're not. This is almost certainly a matter that surpasses the limits of reason. My imagination fails me. I know, so does mine, he laughs and shakes his head. But there's something else that hasn't failed you. I just remembered something. I'm the police. Uh-huh. The man is bursting with anticipation. Actually, it's more likely to hinder us. Oh. Let's see, I can't help you with this right now. I need something else. Something extra. Okay, there we go. Yeah! He's not even the slightest bit disappointed. So, physical instrument is going to be a bit of an issue for me, as my physical instrument is pretty bad. Let's see, I got a couple of skill points. Let's revert that. Let's go back to this. Let's just try it and then level it and try it again. Oh, there we go. You know it in your lungs where the pressure should vibrate. In your heart, that's alone. And in your solar plexus where the hits should land. So does every chordate animal. Needs more bass. What? The young man makes a sudden move, like he's about to turn the volume down. But that would be ridiculous. And a melody. A good melody is what makes the song really stick, so that you can't get it out of your head anymore. Point at your head. Wow, okay, we should start with the melody. But where should we get that stuff from? I don't know. I was thinking you would know. I'm sorry. I don't know anything about anodic music. I'm just the party boy. I get people going and say it's hardcore. He feels ashamed he can't be of more service to the future of dance music. Okay, I'll look into it. In an official capacity. It's up to the police to make the beats go harder. The young man falls silent with appreciation. He even tries to contain a smile. It's as if it could hinder your investigation. Basically, what you need to find is a tape with some banging music on it, so that Egghead could use it to remix Van Eyck's jam. Yeah, maybe that street hawker across the pawn shop has tapes to sell. That's just an idea. Anyway, that's yours to figure out, Cop Man. Cop Man! Yells Egghead. Let's see. Alright, goodbye, Egghead. Here comes the night!